That's what lava will do for you.
So, just make sure I understood that. Lava is going to be that fuel to get me, the awakening did that.
Yes.
Okay.
The awakening got you off the planet. Lava will send you to around the moon and back.
Orbit and maybe get that orbit in.
Oh, I'm going to.
And again, one of the great benefits that you'll love out of that is the way it affects your subconscious self-concept, so that you can start attracting the caliber of man that you really deserve. You know, like up until the awakening, there wasn't much hope of that. Now there's real hope of that. And lava will just anchor that in and further that attribute.
Yeah, baby, if I was 40 years younger, look at.
All right. I would love to hear more about the love life. I want to add more to that. Feel free.
Let me put it this way. Same thing again. If I showed you the man, it'd be a mistake because then you get so scared you'd sabotage it.
I don't want to do that.
So let me just say that if you've ever fallen in love or had a crush on somebody that was like all-consuming, this will be that good.
Very good. Wow. Yep.
Acknowledge. By the way, for anybody who's done the awakening, and please spread the word. The reason you want to do lava is because if you want another breakthrough, and you come to me or Lauren, it's going to cost you $400 or $500. If you do lava, first of all, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be blown away by how incredible your breakthrough is. Even though it's one of your peers, it's good doing it. Because literally all they have to do is read the script. Okay, now your father says this. You know, you read the script and somebody has a huge breakthrough, partly because they've been through the awakening. So not only are you going to be impressed that your peer gave you this phenomenal breakthrough, but then for the rest of your life, you can do breakthroughs with each other for free.
Let's go get blessed. Want to hang out?
I love it. Lauren.
Let's party.
And by the way, lava is the, in my eyes, ask other people who've been through it, the most fun workshop of anything we do. Because we get high as a kite in the day, then we go to dinner at the Thai place, and it's the best Thai food ever. Okay? Nothing in Salt Lake like it. I've been to 10 of them. I've never found anything like it. It's the best. Then we go to the hot pools, and sometimes we give, higher self readings to people out in the community, and they just love it. Matter of fact, they know when we're back. Word spread. That group is back.
Literally at Lava?
At Lava Hot Springs in Idaho. I remember one year I went to the rock and roll band place, late at night. I have several memories of this where one of my people starts telling everybody at the table, you got to get a soul reading from me. And here I'm in a rock and roll bar. They're playing loud rock and roll music, and they've got people lined up like 8 deep, to get a higher self reading. And one year, what's her name? She was starting to tap into her psychic abilities, right? And there was this kind of leather jacket biker type guy. He just happened to be standing next to me. He goes, "Are you the owner of this place?" I said, "No." "Well, what do you do?" He was just curious. I started talking. I said, "Would you like a higher self reading?" He goes, "Yeah." So I give him one. He's really blown away. He's impressed. And I said, if you want some more, go to that table over there where my people are sitting. And they'll give you some. So this gal who was waking up for a second, she gives him one, and she blows his mind. So when I go over to the table, I say, so how did it go? He goes, let me tell you, buddy, you ought to retire and give everything to her. That's how blown away he was.
That's great.
It's great. So that one is my favorite. It's like it's the most fun because everybody gets whisked out of their mind, and then they have these phenomenal breakthroughs, and we just play. We just play. Matter of fact, we even let a few non-awakening grads come and just kind of hang out. So we have to. Did you do that last year?
I did that last year.
Right.
Oh, it was phenomenal just to be there.
And walking at the end of the day.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so just the area of the place, the energy of the room was just like, ooh, okay, wow.
Yeah, every time they walk in the room, that 3 or 4 of them, right, they've been kind of out playing all day, and now they're going to come and join the end of the day, right? You'd see their face, they walk in the room and they go,
Yep.
So it's just like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
it's Wednesday night, Thursday night, then some of us drive to Lava that night, some of us drive up in the morning, and then it's all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we get out about 3:30, and then we return home.
Next time when you say Wednesday and Thursday night, like what time does it start?
Here, 6:30 to 10:30.
Wednesday and Thursday nights here.
Actually, on Thursday, I think it's until 9.
So Wednesday and Thursday nights here, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. When you go in spirit, where do you do spirit?
Where do I do it?
Where do you do it?
We do the same thing as Lava. We do Wednesday and Thursday night here. Then, and Friday here too. Okay? And Saturday, you go down to Lehigh with Cam over, do the ropes course of the firewall. Then you come back here Sunday morning. And we get out about the same time as Lava, about 3 or 4 minutes.
For planning purposes, and moving my charges.
The course itself is $1,200, but by the end of the day, I'll make some offers. I want you guys to know that the way our system works is if you signed up for the Awakening within the last month, you pay $5,000. Okay. Today, there's going to be a huge discount. And what happens is the more we go through the year, the discount gets smaller and smaller and smaller until there's no discount. So today, you'll get the biggest discount on any workshop that you'll get the rest of the year. And I'll just say that. Probably shouldn't.
Hey Gary,
There's a launch that was in it.
this calendar, the schedule of events shows 2013. So I'm guessing all of these dates are a little bit off, but they're in general.
They're in general very similar. We usually try to make the calendar year the same every year, but they might be different dates because it's different in 2015 and 2014.
There's a 2014 calendar over there.
That's right, I do have that.
Yeah, but he's looking at one for next year.
Oh.
For 2015.
No,
He's-
2013 is what this shows.
Oh,
Yeah, the one in here is 2013, Gary.
yeah, I got it.
Right, you live in the past.
Huh?
The old ways.
You have some for 2015 already?
We're going to create that calendar, but we haven't done it yet.
So is the weekend
Actually, if you have 2013 instead of 2014,
Yeah.
the one difference is that Pinnacles is after the Awakening, not before the Awakening. Like Pinnacles is go from the color calendar for this year,
Yeah.
and you'll see the accurate dates for this year, like for Pinnacles, for Spirit, for Lava. Then when we do next year, you'll see the accurate dates for next year.
At the Awakening date for Spirit had not been confirmed yet.
So now they're going to move the Awakening back a week or two, so it's a little closer to the 4th of July.
Wait. I'm sorry. You say it's the
The
awakening?
Awakening? Next year.
Oh, next year. Okay. I thought you meant this year. I was like,
I'm gonna shift the dates of the Awakening next year a little bit further back in the schedule. Like later in June. Okay. Anybody else have a workshop that you're curious about? And I'll give you a higher self reading on it.
Well, I'm sitting on the fence, I just, because I'm looking at it, I think they're all going to do me some good, so, probably basically just looking at it in order from going from, as they come type of thing. Then also if the budget works out and stuff.
Let me tell you,
You surprised I'm sitting on the fence?
if you get them one at a time, there's a price sheet over there in the Movement to Mastery handouts, which I'll show you. Okay, I mean you can grab a copy. Okay, and it shows you that basically all the courses when you pay retail are just about double what you pay when you do Movement to Mastery. Part of the reason why we do Movement to Mastery as a package is because not only do we want you to get certain things from our work, but then it basically assures that there's a foundation of people in the workshop.
Well, this movement, so does Movement of Mastery include a bunch of these workshops?
Okay.
then?
Look at your paper, your handout.
Yeah.
Okay. See the part that has the flyers? Like the here.
It's right here that's got the required and the optional on it.
Don't look at the schedule of time and energy. Look at the next 2 pages that says excerpts from DM Flyer Movement to Mastery program. Okay. The ones that are on the far left that are not indented are Movement to Mastery. So, last off weekend, empowerment dialogue, 30 days of peak performance, pinnacles of presentation, evening meetings on the next page. Now, relationships and magical realms, one of those is optional. That's why they're indented. In other words, you could, Robert, actually do both of them, but we try to protect your energy so you're not overwhelmed and burned out.
Well, I've done success in relationships.
Great. So you can either do it again or you could do magical realms. I mean, what I'm saying is you can do both if you pay for the program, but they're optional instead of required. Okay? You have to do one of them as a requirement, but not both. Okay? Service, that's part of Movement to Mastery, and then Breakthrough Saturday. So the ones that are indented, like Spirit of the Awakened Warrior or Law of a Breakthrough Retreat, are not a part of Movement to Mastery. Okay? Although at the end of the day, we'll make an offer so that if somebody wants to do Movement to Mastery and Lava and Spirit, we'll give them a really good offer so that they can consider it. Matter of fact, I already told you at the Awakening. Movement to Mastery is $165 a month. If you want to do Spirit and Lava and not have to come up with a lump sum of money, you just make the payment $250 a month, and then you actually get them at a ridiculously low price. Thank you.
$165 a month for the rest of our lives, or for just a year, or what?
You know, if you're offering for the rest of your life, I'll take it.
Well, we left that open-ended, $165 a month for how long?
I don't remember. It's in the paperwork. I'll show you that. I think it's around. I think the package is around 33,000 something, and it's like 15 months or I don't know, it's like something in that neighborhood. I know it doesn't go much longer after Movement to Mastery is over. Actually, if you signed up now, it would probably even up so that it's basically about done when you're done with Movement to Mastery. And there are discounts for people paying up front. Any other workshop people are curious about? Okay. Does any of the guests want a higher self reading from me? Okay. Tell me your name. I can't see your name.
Before that gets started, if she has a phone or some recording device, it might be nice to have.
Yeah, people who record them are glad that they did.
This is a suggestion, you don't have to.
Well, actually, it was backwards. I was going to tell you what I wanted to do and then ask you about workshop.
I got it. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what workshop, and then I'll do it solely.
You know, I've been around this for a long time, and I started doing work with you, and then decided to go back into the real world and make some real money. And I'm pretty comfortable with the amount of money I've made, and now I'm really ready to start giving my gifts from a balanced lifestyle, and not needing to do it for the money. You know, do it for the service. Sort of, it's taking a long time to get here, and it's taking a long time to trust myself, knowing that whatever happens, happens. They're coming from a place of love, and I have a really big dream, but I want to start with the smaller dream. And it just...
Tell me the big one. I always like the big ones.
Honestly, I'd rather just tell it to you in private. I don't feel confident enough to say that it's big.
No one's listening.
It's okay if you prefer to do it in private. I just want you to know that we actually serve you to do it if you will.
You know, I teach really wealthy people at your valley. And these people are great people. They have no freaking clue what the real world looks like. They live in gated communities, their kids go to private schools, and through all the years of teaching and being around wealthy people, they are further and further disconnected from the real world. And unfortunately, they buy the politicians. They create the rules and laws of where not just America, but the whole world is heading. And very few people, none of my clients get it. There's a few, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, who do get it. And that service, you know, taking all that money and doing something with it rather than giving it to their kids. And nothing wrong with giving a portion of it to their kids. But the point is, how can I take? Can we take this message to the people that really make a difference? I mean, not that we all couldn't make a difference, but it's the wealthy people who are going to make the profoundest difference and make this planet livable again. And so that's my big dream. And I talk to my clients all the time, and they're just trying to figure out how to spend more money and ask me to help them spend more money. It is unbelievable. And so I mean, I live this charmed life, and yet it's profoundly sad what comes out of their mouths. We don't exist in their life other than a bunch of shitheads. I mean, excuse me, but we are. We're just servants to them, and they love me to pieces. But how they see the world is so disturbing. I can't even begin to tell you. So, Gary, how do you take not even an awakening, but like a tiny, you know, what made Bill Gates decide to give, you know, to become this philanthropist? Why did Warren Buffett decide to give all his money to Bill Gates? How do you get somebody who has a heart but doesn't want to access their heart? You feel their heart.
Let's acknowledge it. I think it's been over 30 years now that I realize that there are less than 1,000 politicians and less than 1,000 people with money who basically run the planet. Mm-hmm. And I've had the same dream for that length of time. Like, I've always known that if I could get the influencers to do something like the Awakening, where, like Joseph Rennie and Miller, when they really got what I taught them about the Dreammakers process and higher purpose, when they sincerely wanted to make a difference. Imagine if any of those people that we met we could get them to want to make a difference. Right? So you and I are partners. Great.
And what's interesting about that is you get one
Yeah, they get
who are their
friends.
friends. You know?
Right. That's right. They're still
That's doable though.
Yeah, it really is.
For a few years now, I've been just talking to them, what they're thinking about the planet. And you would not believe what I listen to. I mean, it is unbelievable.
You ought to trick them for their own good. Basically, tell them if you want abundance, you need to go to this. Just
Well-
don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself, and then amazing what they'll find.
Lance, if I could find the script for that, I am so willing, because I spend days and days with these people. Come back every year, so I visit them in the summers in their haciendas and mansions and stuff, and it's never enough for them.
What do you do?
I teach ski
Oh, okay.
at Deer Valley,
Okay.
and so I'm teaching the upper part of the 1%, right? And these are, I just teach my returnees every year, so I'm not trying to affect hundreds of people. I'm just the few people that I teach, and there is this unbelievable wall. And like I said, through the years of teaching, that wall is bigger. They want nothing to do with us. I mean, we're really trash.
I have to stop. I have to step in. Because I really feel that as I'm listening to you, I think, I don't know how to put this in the right words. I feel that part of the reason you will not make any progress in your mission until your thought process changes, until you view those people in a different manner, because they sense what you're thinking of them, and you never make progress with them.
There's a lot of truth in what you said.
Yeah. I wonder if something.
Let me give you a recommendation. I can't remember if you've done Spirit.
Mhm.
Have you done Lava? Okay, you want to do that. And then work with me, because there's a lot of truth in what you said. And individually, then I can help you work on shifting your come from toward them, and scripts and things that can influence those people. And then together, we will get it.
Tell them you got a package deal. Tell them you got this program, this 1 week program. They come over and take that, they'll open their minds when they're up there skiing. And
You know what, Robert, I've tried all that. And just to answer, I totally agree with because what you're saying. I didn't get jaded out of nowhere. I get jaded because.
Blah, 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 blah.
No. I understand that you have a lot of experience with those people, okay? But the truth in what she's saying is that your thoughts, feelings, attitude come from make all the difference in the world. And I know that if I was talking to those people, I know that I will enroll.
That's what I need. I need that shift there.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how many of them reject it.
Right.
Because I know I will get them to get interested in making it good.
That's the script I need.
So let's do
My
some
skill
practice.
level is not good enough because I've really tried to elicit that, and I'm amazed at how they don't want to go there. And that's really what I've kind of shut down about it.
Yeah.
Because I've really tried, and I just don't have the skill to get them to connect with their heart. And I see it, like I see it.
Yeah,
So that's the first thing. So that's my big goal. My smaller goal is how do I get into it? I'd like to start doing some leadership coaching and facilitating so that I can get better at enrolling and all that stuff.
Right.
So what course? Because I've done most of your stuff.
I got it. Well, at every level, it's a different course. In other words, any course you get again, 5 years later, or whatever, it's not the same course. But I think that we should do Lava so you can do breakthroughs on these issues.
Okay.
And one-on-one sessions so we can work together on getting all that stuff handled. Okay? And then if we can find somebody or if you want to produce a success beyond sales, that would probably be a really good one. Matter of fact, in the meantime, you can get one of the DVDs and really watch it so you can get back in touch with all of those skills and because they're really all about input and persuasion. That's the, yeah.
Because in my heart, I'm absolutely committed to this. I just feel like you know skill. And it's something I've been really, very, very sad to hear people say. And when you hear it enough times, it's so profoundly frustrating that things are getting way worse than we even imagined. Yeah. So I really need skills.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that.
For how to stay positive.
Right.
What they do. Absolutely. Good job. Let it go. Acknowledge.
I think it's very I think I'll do anything to help you with that. Even though, man. I don't want to listen to you.
Okay, let me give her a soul reading. Bring your phone over here so it'll be close to me. Okay. And tell me your name again because your name tag's been on the table.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay. Stephanie, you have a really sweet heart. Very tender, very deep, very sensitive. And your bloodline has, your ancestors have a lot of the same kind of sensitivity and delicateness, but the way they dealt with it was to act like anything but sensitive. Like they kind of come off hard and cynical and tough and resisting anything with authority or rules or commitment or authoritarian or that kind of stuff. Which means they attract issues with authority. So, you know, your ancestors have a lot of history of bumping up against government agencies, stuff like that. So, one thing that's great about your spirit is that you're not afraid to be unique and express individualism and uniqueness and a great kind of noble streak of rebelliousness. And as a child, when you were wounded, what made you feel like shutting down was as a young child, when you got wounded, it felt like you didn't count, like you weren't important, you weren't significant. You know, maybe you were abandoned or ignored, that kind of thing. So that's what kind of driven a lot of the doubts and fears and, you know, inability to show up, to shine. And you're such a good. You're such a good. Is there any particular workshop that interested you, or should I just tell you what you should let yourself consider?
I actually do awakening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me tell you. When you get to the awakening, you're going to be in the seventh heaven. Because you're going to realize that not only is there nothing wrong with you, but you're going to realize that the freedom that you've been wanting your whole life is now there. It's going to feel like coming home. Like I'm really, really there and really free. And if you end up deciding to go ahead and sign for the awakening today, and making some payments so you can be ready when the time comes, then I'll throw in a $500 certificate so that you can do something else between now and then. And every time we have kind of like, every once in a while we have these certificates that we give to people in Movement to Mastery, a limited number of things where they can do a $500 course for either the deposit or sometimes for free. Okay? And if you sign up for the awakening, then I'll make sure that whenever the producers have everything to offer, that they call you first. Make sure that you get it. Okay.
I will call you today.
Are you guys sisters?
I thought so initially.
Just soul sisters.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's amazing how much your souls are alive. Does anybody else want to hire some reading?
Maybe you want to hire somebody. I love putting.
No expectations. Just want to offer it.
Sure.
Okay? Nate, you are incredibly special. I think you have a sense that you're special, but I can't wait for you to find out just how special you are. Do you know what indigo children are? No. Okay. Have you ever noticed when you run a lot of energy that you fritz electronic stuff? Like sometimes you're upset, you can be walking down the street and put out a street light, like it'll go out. Or have trouble wearing electronic watches because sometimes they go out.
Yeah, I once burned my thumb plugging something in. The electrician didn't know what was wrong. I ended up with a black hand.
Indigo children are like system busters. Whatever group, organization, or thing they're in, they tend to affect it in such a way that all the cards go up in the air and then they come down in a better fashion. Okay? And when you were a kid, when you were a small kid, you felt as if you might be from a different planet because you couldn't understand why people were so callous, so insensitive, really. Like you just felt like, am I in the wrong place or what? And you're obviously brilliant and very gifted. But was there a particular workshop or not?
Whatever works.
Okay, good. I'd say the two best things for you would either be the awakening or movement to mainstream. Okay. Awakening because there's nothing we have that's more powerful. Nothing that will catapult you more than that. Movement to mastery because if you did something consistent and got the support, then you start to notice that your life is really taking off. Your life is really catapulted in the way that you want it to go. It's not about what anybody else wants you to do. It's that you have certain dreams, certain visions, certain things that you'd like to see get to the next level, and that could do it. That could get you to the next level. Do you know yet how good you are with people?
I'm working on it.
Would you say?
Yeah, he does.
He does.
There's a lot of things to work on.
Yes. Well, you are surprisingly good with people. You kind of naturally get to this challenge. Okay? So, any work you do with us, besides taking your self-esteem and your self-confidence to a whole other level, it will make you aware of how special you are with people and how much influence you can have with people. Which, do you guys have kids?
Yeah.
So different marriages. It's different marriage. Okay, good. So, would you like to be a really good father? Okay. Any work you do with us is going to make a huge difference in our life. That's eventually why people to be supervised, because it will just bring out the natural gifts that you're doing. Incredibly. I can't tell you how often I thank God for the stories I've learned about healing.
Really?
They can be a pain in the rear sometimes. And it really gives you a lot of leverage, a lot of influence. And what do you want to be successful at? Do you know yet? No. No. You know. Okay. But you could be pretty much successful at anything, but with the kind of confidence you get out of doing this kind of work, you can pretty much write your ticket. And I can't say that for everybody. Not everybody has this kind of gifts. Not everybody has that kind of potential. But you just happen to have it. So as you really develop some of this stuff, you can pretty much say, I want to have my own business, or I want to do this, or whatever you're looking at, you could do it. Matter of fact, here's something that I had really scared of. But it took a couple of years. It took a couple of years, and for as an example, I wanted to do something along the lines of so that kind of stuff, right? But you may not want to do it just as an example. Okay, you could easily earn $500,000 a day. That's how we do it. Whether you know it or not. Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
You betcha.
So we would come after we would start again
Until December.
Till December?
Early December. The first weekend in December is the blast off weekend.
Yeah, and then when it says, is it usually like a Thursday, Friday? And is it all day on Thursday, all day on Fridays? It's the
Thursday
night.
evening, and Wednesday evening, Thursday evening,
Okay.
and Friday from noon to about 8, and then Saturday all day, 9:30 to 7.
Okay. And then is it on Sunday
That's
as well?
that's blast off weekend. Only Spirit Lava owns it.
Okay. Thank you.
Generally between noon and
I'm not bringing my cell phone, so
I'll call you with her.
Oh, I'm
First section is 6 hours. That's have it between 90 minutes and 2 hours.
She's a
I have to say, okay, he's the kind of guy that
I just want to
if he's the kind of guy that I